Boruto could unlock a brand new transformation with the help of Momoshiki's abilities. We know the monster hasn't used any of his signature powers as borushiki so far, but there are some of those powers which can take Boruto's strength to another level, so let's find out what they are. There is apparently some solid reason for Kishimoto to not let Boruto use the powers of Momoshiki. While Kawaki gained all abilities of Ishiki with just a bioweapon, Boruto not having the Otsutsuki powers of Momoshiki is pretty unfair. But the fact that he has now been termed as a pure Otsutsuki makes it possible for him to manifest the powers of the monster. It would be cool for him to awaken a Rinnegan or travel between dimensions. The main highlight of this video is gonna be the power of absorbing jutsus and increasing their intensity. Momoshiki was able to absorb Kinshiki by turning him into a chakra fruit, which means it is practically possible for him to absorb other Otsutsukis. It shouldn't be possible for him to absorb a living Otsutsuki, as Kinshiki willingly let him consume himself. The same must be the case for Boruto, but we shouldn't forget that there is a solid plot point in the story where he can use the absorption technique to become absolutely omnipotent. I'm talking about the remains of Shibai Otsutsuki that have been concealed by Amado. The scientist has done a lot of brainstorming while formulating his plan of Akebi's revival. From researching the remains of an Otsutsuki god to working with an Otsutsuki himself, he has done everything to make his plans exceptional, except thinking about one loophole, which is Momoshiki. Amado hasn't paid much heed to Momoshiki's powers, as if he does not consider him a threat. Maybe Kishimoto is distracting us from the true prowess of Momoshiki that could grant Boruto an omnipotent power-up. Hypothetically saying, if Boruto somehow got his hands on the remains of Shibai, he could easily absorb them the same way Momoshiki absorbed Kinshiki to evolve himself. The process of absorbing an Otsutsuki god's mortal remains would automatically grant Boruto the power of clairvoyance, omnipotence, as well as reality manipulation. He won't even face any drawbacks while using these powers, like how Aida can't control the leakage of her thoughts manifesting into reality. In this way, Boruto will not only gain his reality back, but will also become one of the strongest warriors in the verse. Maybe this panel of Demon asking Boruto to get stronger was a foreshadowing of the same. So what if by the time of the time skip, Boruto has actually absorbed the remains of Shibai, explaining why there is a jogan in his right eye? This could also hint at Boruto gaining the memories of the Otsutsuki god, and the reason for the manifestation of the jogan can be understood by the eyes possessed by Aida and Demon. They both are half moon or crescent shaped, which means they only possess half of the abilities of Shibai, while the full moon eye jogan can be taken as a reference for its full powers being manifested by Boruto. There could be many more abilities that Boruto shall be unlocking after absorbing the remains of the Otsutsuki god. Now let's talk about the other advantageous moves that could be played by Boruto by using Momoshiki's powers. More precisely, let's talk about the Karma Seal and how Boruto could utilize it in becoming immortal. While it's possible for him to gain separation from Momoshiki after successfully reincarnating into a vessel, I call this theory the chain of karmas, and it has been used by Shibai Otsutsuki to gain immortality before. While it won't make Boruto fully immortal, it would definitely grant him more life. The very first time Boruto revives using the karma would end up in the elimination of Momoshiki. Further, it would help him to become a cosmic traveler by granting him the ability of having numerous vessels. The thing which bothers me has something to do with Shibai's karmic rituals. We know that a karma seal is compatible with human beings, taking in account of Boruto and Kawaki. However, Shibai traveling throughout the universe makes me think that there might be some other species that are also compatible with the karma. If Kishimoto decides to make Boruto a space fiction kind of story, then we might get to see different races that are proven to be compatible with the Otsutsuki seal. The chances of such happening are really high, because Boruto's adventures will expand into the universe really soon. Remember the phenomenon of Kawaki getting his seal erased when Ishiki resurrected into Jigen's body? I think there is more to it than what we have seen in the series. At first it might seem like this plot point was brought in the story to trigger the fight between Ishiki and the heroes. The occurrence of the karma getting discarded from all the vessels when an Otsutsuki reincarnates into one of them might act as a recurring plot in the story. This means Boruto could have multiple vessels in the future, and the job of his enemy would be to eliminate them one by one. This will lead to Boruto losing all his spare lives, making it easy for his enemies to put him to destruction. The only flaw that I could find in this chain of karma's theory has something to do with the nature of Boruto. He knows for a fact that his vessel will cease to exist, which reduces the chances of him doing something like that. But even if Boruto decides to not go for the Shibai karmic ritual, maybe because the writers want Momoshiki to be around in this story, another great thing that the karma could do is also mind-blowing. Remember how Aida, Daemon, Code and Bug are based off different computer programs. In the case of the cyborg siblings, their names hint at their respective signature abilities, while Aida is a computer programming language, which is a reference to Aida's omnipotence programming history, while as Demon's name refers to a computer program which runs in the background, which means his reflection power runs in the background. The same can be taken for the Kama, because there is a computer program of the same name, which is an information integration tool that enables users to quickly and easily integrate data from a variety of data sources. This can be taken as a reference of the Kama's main ability, which integrates the consciousness of two individuals until the vessel gets dominated. It might also be a hint for its secret ability, which would let the user power up another ally for a short period of time. As you know from the case of Code, the Kama can sometimes fail to extract in the vessel's body without the individual losing his life. So what if Boruto decides to use a small amount of karmic data to amp up an ally shinobi without the intention of reviving himself? This would grant the ally shinobi a small amount of Otsutsuki powers, that too for a small amount of time. The reason I believe this is because the seal is nothing more than a medium of transplantation consisting of consciousness, data and memories. So if an Otsutsuki wishes to use the Kama for the purpose of powering up someone, it must be technically possible, as it depends on the will of the being who is using the seal. Similar to how Amado made a bioweapon which was compatible with the vessel of an already dead Otsutsuki. A similar bioweapon must have been used for Aida and Daemon, which made them compatible with the DNA of an ascended Otsutsuki. Now if Boruto is using such power to implant his Kama on someone without the will of reviving himself, then he should be able to share his powers in the future. Maybe there is another form of the Kama, most likely this one, which is used when the host is no longer present to dominate the vessel's body. Amado could have used it on Aida, Daemon and Kawaki, which hints at the seal being a biological weapon. But if Boruto is able to manifest some other purpose of the Kama, then it can be concluded that Amado had more closer ties with the Otsutsukis. This explains how he was able to create an exact copy of the Kama seal with mortal knowledge. In case of Kaguya, she was able to manifest her will to resurrect in the form of the Zetsu. This means there are a number of ways in which the Kama can be utilized. Talking about the Kama, I feel like Amado's Otsutsuki connection must have something to do with Code for a really interesting reason. While Code ended up as a failed vessel for Ishiki, he is known to be a worshipper of Otsutsukis who wanted to become Ishiki's vessel desperately. This means he knew about the Otsutsukis even before the Kama experiments, which hint at Code being exposed to Otsutsuki stuff even before Jigen's discovery of Kawaki. I think he became a devout follower of Ishiki after getting to know his story and accepting his viewpoint on reality. Maybe Code was too upset with his own life, which ended up in him wanting to surrender his body to Ishiki. However, Amado might have realized something about Code. That's why he modified him with some unique shinjutsu like the claw marks. We haven't seen any other Otsutsuki use claw marks before. So could it be that Amado had been working for multiple Otsutsukis? Subscribe and I will be discussing that in another video. So now that we know the Kama is gonna play a huge part in Boruto's life, what if this Kama does not belong to Momoshiki at all? Find out more about this theory in this video.